Jacob is the platonic ideal of struggling with the lack of purpose, but the events of this night are finally pushing him to take a stand about who he is and what he wants out of his life.
In Oxenfree 2, I'm really looking forward to people playing with Jacob, who is their kind of main counterpart throughout the game.
Jacob works as a handyman for hire, and he lives with his dog, Buddha, who's his best friend. Jacob hasn't left Kamina. He grew up there. He went to high school with Riley.
You take a look at Jacob. He's got this questionable facial hair. He's got the hipster hat.
And his animation also gave him that laid-back kind of, hey, I'm just hanging out here in the woods, not being creepy.
Jacob actually has direct ties to the events of Oxenfree 1, and particularly the history of Maggie Adler. Maggie was the woman that first kind of discovered what radios could do. She was the one who was kind of tied to the events that really kicked off the whole story.
Jacob is enthralled and fascinated with the sort of otherworldly phenomenons and the things that are happening in Kamina. Jacob's somebody who isn't super content with where he is in life.
Just forget it. I'm saying it's meaningless to hope, which sounds mean.
He feels a little too comfortable. He feels like there is more to be achieved, and he doesn't know what risks to take to get there.
What we love about the secrecy inside of the game is that there can be a lot of things hidden in plain sight. That might be literal ghosts rustling in the bushes, secret codes or ciphers that are military related, or it might be the way that Parentage has been communicating with each other all over Kamina.
Parentage wears masks. They're kind of this weird religious entity that has this lunar symbology on them.
They're more of an organized society, like a group of people who have come together with common beliefs, and it gets a little culty and a little weird.
And it's not something new, it's actually something that's been around for generations.
Their membership is very small, they're very particular about who they let in, they're very secretive.
The cult has kind of defined their worldview in a way where they have dug really deep into this actual supernatural phenomena and have started to try to exploit it for their own gain.
They're the primary antagonists in the game. They're this group that is really looking to tap into the other side using radio tech and kind of mess with the time-space continuum in ways they probably should not be.
I think a pivotal character who really was the tipping point that started all of the events of this universe is somebody named Maggie Adler.
Maggie Adler was a comms officer in World War II, and she's the one who discovered the Sunken, and that there's some sort of radio signal coming from the submarine that crashed.
And the crewmen that were on the submarine, they didn't just die, they kind of got stuck between every possible timeline that could happen.
When Jacob was a kid, he was friends with Maggie Adler, and Maggie Adler was tuned into some suspicious goings-on in the radio waves that were circulating around the town. And she infected Jacob with that curiosity.
In this game, you will learn more about Maggie and who she was later in her life.
Maggie's specialty while working for the military was in code breaking and ciphers. And so what Maggie understood is there's just a lot of coded language and hidden things throughout this space.
Riley is I think she's a lot more adventurous than I am. You know, I like to think that I'm adventurous in some ways, but I'm not going to rappel down the side of a cliff. Riley was raised by a single father, and there's definitely some resentment that she holds towards him that does inform her character throughout the game.
The challenges that the characters are trying to overcome in this new game are a combination of personal and the massive portal opening that they need to stop type of problems that we all know from Oxenfree 1.
Riley's dealing with a lot of heavy stuff from her past at the same time as she's dealing with Parentage attempting to steal her future. And it's a future she's still sorting out and shaping right now. It's all happening at the pivotal time where not only is she deciding who she's going to be, but she's also got to do it in the face of all these crazy supernatural challenges.
Riley's from Kamina, and unlike Alex and her friends in Oxenfree 1, Riley did not have the best time growing up in this area.
She later joined the military, but she sort of found herself drifting aimlessly through life and realized that she is in need of a purpose.
Whereas the first game, really tight kind of focus on a few classmates. This game is about Riley coming home and interacting with Jacob, who is somebody who she went to high school with, dealing with her father, dealing with a whole host of new characters that are along this coast.
I need visual confirmation of the clouds above Edwards Island.